The Community Development and Sustainability Organization, CDS, stands as an inspiring force in the Cheptais region, Kenya. With a mission to promote sustainable development for social justice, CDS engages in various strategies, including community engagement, local philanthropy, institution building, partnerships, policy influencing, and asset development. One of CDS Kenya's flagship initiatives is the Women and Girls Education Scholarship, or WAGES. This program offers full scholarships to women and girls, paving the way for a new generation of leaders and entrepreneurs. Beyond empowering individuals, wages contribute significantly to the socio-economic growth of the community. However, education is just one facet of CDS Kenya's holistic approach to development. The organization also focuses on empowering local farmers through agriculture initiatives and championing environmental conservation. Projects such as the Smallholder Irrigation and Value Addition Project (CVAP) and the Heart of Care Community Hospital exemplify CDS commitment to fostering sustainable change across Kenya. Hey everyone, welcome. This is Humanitarian Voice Podcast, where we explore stories of humanitarian work and advocacy worldwide. I am your host, Cindy, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. Today, we have a special guest joining us for this episode, Peter Chem, the founder of NGO Community Development and Sustainability CDS Kenya. Peter and I collaborated on fundraising program initiatives since September last year, so I am very excited to have him here today. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Peter, let's jump right in. I know that CDS Kenya was founded since 2009, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been quite very long. It's like 15 years in action towards community development in Kenya. It is for me it's truly inspiring that you created these initiatives, and we know that the program has already very powerful direct impact to the community in need. But I'm very curious to know what ignited your passion for this humanitarian work, specifically for the community development causes, as that is very much aligned with the CDS Kenya mission. And could you also please share a pivotal moment that cemented your commitment to this, to start this initiative?
Thank you, Cindy, for the opportunity for also identifying CDS as one of your group that you can support in terms of awareness. What drove me to start CDS was there was a conflict in Mount Elgon in 2006-2007 where there are many people killed. So the government of Kenya sent the military group to come and stabilize the area. So in doing so, there were casualties in terms of death, those that were injured. So I said that we should have a local organization that can start off to support the community. And that's how now started CDS after that violence in 2007, 2008, then 2009, I started now the organization. After working with the United Nations Development Program and European Program, European Union to support the community. So when they faced out, I said that we should have a local organization that can now be available to support them. That's now how I started it. So in terms of empathy and compassion to effect positive change in their world, one of defining moments that solidified my dedication was during this relief mission in a remote village in Mount Elgon, where I witnessed firsthand the impact of even small acts of kindness and support that also supported the vulnerable communities. That's how I started CDS. Thank you.
Wow, that's really inspiring, Peter. And that was quite a bold and brave move from you because I believe that not everyone can muster the drive to make such change. So I truly respect and admire your dedication to that. So, Peter, as you mentioned it about those challenges, how do you approach them in your work on the ground? Because as we know, the challenges are beyond complex, specifically regarding the political agenda and working with the government and all those stakeholders involved. How do you navigate this in terms of the ethical complexities, and what approaches have you found effective?
Okay. In terms of complexity, in terms of working, because maybe some of the violences are either caused by the government or any other warring communities. So in working, as a humanitarian work, I always approach them with a commitment to integrity, transparency, and accountability. Prioritizing the needs and voices of affected communities is paramount for the CDS, as in constantly evaluating and adapting our strategies to ensure they align with the ethical principles, either by the government and national bodies. Also, in terms of collaborating, we also work closely with local partners and stakeholders, also the county government, the national government, and the national bodies to navigate this complexity effectively, ensuring that our actions are guided by the higher ethical standards as CDS.
I see. Are the governments, the local governments, they are all very supportive at that time?
Yes, they are. That's why we identify them, we work them to identify even the beneficiaries, to list them so that when we support, we are also working closely because you have the government at local level, the disaster management committee, and the peace committees that we work together because we are partners, and then also you have the government as the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Peter. Now, let's address the marginalized community. As in our previous debate program, we extensively discussed education rights for women and girls in marginalized communities in Kenya. What are the current issues they face? Do they still encounter significant challenges? Are there any government initiatives already in place, perhaps in collaboration with your NGO or other local NGOs, aimed at improving or developing the current education system for these women and girls in Kenya?
We are happy that after the CDS and other partners coming up to support scholarship, the only challenge that we are facing that the government funding program is limited to only few, and they are also doing zoning. So we have some zones that girls are not benefiting fully, but other areas are benefiting. In terms of the pass mark, they have put like pass mark 350 marks. So those
Okay.
vulnerable girls that are from remote areas, marginalized, cannot score that 350 marks
Yeah.
out of 500. So those one, CDS and other partners now identifying those that are getting below 350 to get benefit in terms of scholarship. So in terms of funding is also a challenge. The government also says they cannot support 100. So, and the girls are more than that. So the only advantage is they are also supporting around 70% of girls. So 30 are also male. So we have other partners are coming on board. The government itself, county government and national government through LIM scholarship. So we are efforts. Also banks like Equity, they're also giving flying equity. They also give scholarship. So, but the issue is these other scholarships are giving pass mark at 350 and up. Yeah.
I see. I understand that, Peter. So the support is there, but still it's far from sufficient because there are still more communities in need on the ground and lacking financial resources, among other unfortunate conditions, I believe. Now, reflecting on this, Peter, what insights have you gained from the current situation that could potentially be useful for the future of humanitarian efforts in this case?
Okay. In terms of the ideas we have also gained in terms of we should have, let me say, a integrated program that can support the projects that we do so that when you are supporting a girl child in terms of accessing education, we also need to support even the family also have maybe food at their table. So because when you take a girl in school, you pay fees, but when they close, they come home, there is no food. So in terms of approaches, we should also focus in terms of having ideas that are like interlinked in terms of supporting the initiative we do. When we are doing agriculture program, we have no water. We do water
Exactly.
project, we have no food. So we need to have interlink of the projects that I am also thinking to turn around the table so that we have a project that is we can do one project, but
Yeah.
interlinked with other elements that are very important in terms of sustainability. In terms of maybe approaches we are doing, we are also trying to have a project comes in mind that are sustainable, especially in water, as I've said, and sanitation initiative, implemented in a refugee camp. So that because the refugee camp like we are having now, in terms of you have issues of the water issues, flooding, conflict in Ethiopia. So we need to have like a project that interlink in terms of sanitation, water, housing, bedding, something of that kind.
Exactly, Peter. I completely agree with you on that. Because I think, as I also experienced during my volunteering program in Uganda, I realized that we cannot only address one issue at a time. We should somehow look at it from an interdisciplinary perspective because sometimes, for example, if we want to solve the issue of education, providing educational facilities alone may not be sufficient if they are still suffering from, let's say, malnutrition or other diseases. Because imagine it's just so difficult for the children to attend school under such conditions, right? So I can imagine that we have to address all problems simultaneously because poverty trap is really an issue right now. So, Peter, I truly appreciate your time, your dedication, innovation, and initiative in CDS Kenya. I'm very much looking forward to future possible collaboration projects with you and your NGO. Thank you once again for sharing your insights and experiences with us today.
Thank you too for giving us opportunity.
And that concludes our episode today. Stay tuned for more stories of compassion and advocacy in the episodes to come. Until next time, remember, kindness is contagious, so let's keep spreading it far and wherever you go.